This is my birth story, part 2. So, about 6, sometime after, just after 6 o'clock, my husband Dave comes home, and I am sitting in the living room, still watching The Business of Being Born and timing contractions, which by this point are a little bit more intense. And so, a lot of the story right now gets a little bit hazy for me. I don't quite remember everything the right way that was happening. But I think that he came in and got me some water, and then he decided he was going to call Vicky. And he put her on the phone with me, and I was still able to talk to her, but I think the contractions were coming like 2 minutes apart. And she said that since it was traffic time, she was going to go ahead and eat dinner. And then she would be on her way, because if she was going to leave right then, it was going to take a long time anyway, because she was going to be fighting traffic. So she was going to have dinner real quick, and then she'd be on her way over. And I said that was fine. And so we got off the phone. And I just continued laboring, I guess. I don't remember a whole lot until Vicky arrived, and she came with Scotty, a student midwife. Her normal student midwife, Leonore, was supposed to be at the birth, but she was unfortunately out of town in California visiting family. So she brought Scotty with her instead, which ended up being okay because I really liked Scotty, and so it was nice to have her there. And so when they arrived, I don't remember, I think I had already gone to the bedroom and was laying on the bed, and Vicky decided she was going to check me. And at this point, I think it was 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock, and I had already reached 7 centimeters. And so because we had been sort of playing around with the idea of having a water birth, she told me that if I wanted to get into the water, I could. And so we ran a hot bath, and I got in, which really helped with the intensity of the contractions. And I was starting to have some lower back pain, and so a lot of that part of my labor I remember, because the water really helped to de-intensify the contractions for me. So there are some pictures even that Catherine took of me in the bathtub, where I still looked very alert and happy and normal. And so I stayed in the tub for quite a while before they decided to check me again. It was probably an hour or so, and it was dark, and I had candles, and everything was very calm and quiet. And I started having to kind of moan through some of the contractions. I remember at one point saying that I couldn't do it, and somebody telling me I could, and it was just shaking my head. And the next time they checked me, I was only at 8 centimeters, and I thought it seemed like forever. But they told me that maybe I should get out of the water and move around some, might help my labor to progress. But it had gone really far really fast, and then kind of slowed down. And so I got back on the bed, and Vicky checked my cervix again and told me that I had a lip. My baby's arm was basically up around her neck like this, so her elbow was catching the edge of my cervix and not allowing me to fully dilate, which was basically making my labor last longer than was really necessary. And so we waited it out through a few contractions, which at this point I was in transition, and it was just horrible. There was nothing I could do, and the pain was just, it just was. And after that, Vicky checked me again, and still the same situation. And she asked if I wanted her to push the lip aside, and I could try to push at the same time, and maybe we could get her elbow to kind of come out. And so we did that for a couple of contractions, or a few, and all the while I was in transition, and all the while through my whole labor, my husband was just right there, right next to me, constantly just telling me all these wonderful, supportive words, and how beautiful I was, and how much he loved me. And I wish I could remember more of it, because I know he was really, really active and wonderful part of our birth experience, but a lot of it I just don't remember. But I know that he was there, and I know that he helped me make it through, and it was wonderful. But anyways, so the plan with Vicky worked, and eventually we kind of broke free, and she said that I was fully dilated, and I could start pushing if I felt the urge to push, but I didn't know what I felt. I didn't really feel anything, and she kept asking me if I felt pressure, and I didn't know. And I did, but I didn't really know what was going on, and I wasn't sure what to do. And finally I said, yes, there's pressure. And I started pushing, and I pushed with everything I had. I was just ready to get the baby out. And she kept telling me, that's it, you're moving your baby's coming. And I just kept pushing with everything I had through every contraction. And my friend Catherine went over and with Vicky, and Vicky was like, I can see your baby's head, and it has a full head of hair. And she told me I could reach down and touch my baby, and I did, and it was so amazing. And Catherine picked up my camera, and she started taking pictures, which were, of course, not the most flattering pictures I've ever seen, but she would turn around and show me these pictures, and I could see my baby, and it just like gave me this renewed sense of determination. And after every time I pushed, she would take another picture, and I could see more of my baby. And I pushed as much as I could, and I felt her crowning. And the next contraction, I think I pushed and I birthed her head, and then I felt so relieved, like I didn't have to do anything else. I thought the rest of her was just gonna come out. And I remember Vicky telling me, push, you still have to get the rest of your baby out. I need one more big push. And I gave it, and then Aria was born, and she was 8 pounds even, and 20 inches long. And she was born at 11:43 p.m. on September 1st, after I guess that would have been just shy of 9 hours of labor. And it was the most amazing day of my life. And I would do it just the same all over again in a heartbeat. So that's my birth story, and I can't really go too much into the afterbirth. I think I'll cover the afterbirth later in a separate video, because that kind of ended up being a crazy and hectic thing. But I'm about to rack up another 10 minutes on this birth story part 2, so I'll see you later.